My wife, Jane, and I have known each other since we can remember. Our families weren't too close when we were kids, just living in the same neighborhood. I got closer to Jane when we went hiking for a high school excursion, and I lent Jane my shoulder while she was stuck on a mountain after she broke her leg. We became somewhat conscious of each other after that, and the fact that we happened to go to the same university encouraged me to confess my feelings and start dating. A year after we graduated from college, we got married. For the next 3 years, we had a very fulfilling married life. But one day, Jane suddenly started refusing to spend nights with me. She would say that she wasn't in the mood or that she was tired from work, and we continued to live like that for 2 years. 2 years after Jane and I stopped having sex, I visited a place with my colleague of mine. It was a so-called bathhouse for adults. My colleague took me there to comfort me after my wife had become sexless. I felt sorry for Jane, but I was driven by an uncontrollable urge to go to that kind of place for the first time in my life. You at least know the flow, right? I'm sorry, I don't know. I've never been to one of these places before. Well, I don't blame you. I'll show you how to enjoy the store. First, choose the girl you like from here. After thinking about it for a while, I decided on the girl at the bottom of the panel. I didn't know what she looked like because her face was blurred out, but the reason I chose her was that she resembled Jane. I chose her last time, but she's the most beautiful girl in the store. She's also very active with her service, so you got a good eye. I don't appreciate comments like that. And I can't say it too loud, but she's ready for the real thing too. Real thing? If you ask her, she'll let you do it, but don't say it too loud. It's a punishable offense. Oh, okay, I get it. My crotch was on the verge of exploding at the words of my coworker. The anticipation of having a woman in my arms for the first time in 2 years, and the sense of immorality that I had not told this to my beloved wife amplified my excitement even more. I arrived in the front of the private room that the receptionist had designated for me. When I opened the door with my nervous shaking hand, an unidentifiable, sweet smell stung my nose. The girl I had appointed had not yet arrived. According to my colleague, she's a very popular girl, so she is probably dealing with the other customers right now. With my heart pounding with anticipation and anxiety, I waited for the girl's arrival. Sorry to keep you waiting. About 5 minutes after I entered the private room, the girl I had appointed finally arrived. I wanted to see her beautiful face right away, but I was too nervous to look up. Oh, are you nervous? Is this your first time at a place like this? Yes, it is. You're so nervous. It's so cute. Don't worry, I'll lead the way. When was the last time a woman spoke kind words to me? Since Jane had started refusing to have sex with me at night, she never spoke to me in such a way that was considerate. I guess it was just a way to please the customers, but it was painfully pleasing to me at that time. At the same time, my rationality, which I had managed to maintain up to this point, suddenly burst out. No, you can't do that. That's not what this place is about. I was overcome by an unstoppable urge, and the next thing I know, I had pushed the girl down. I'm sure this is considered a taboo in a place like this, but I had no time to think about it. However, the moment I saw the face of the girl who was under me, my excitement suddenly cooled down. My big boy, who had been so excited, instantly shrunk, because the woman in front of me was... Jane? Kevin? It wasn't just a resemblance, it was Jane herself. The woman was wearing a gown over her bare skin, which was a shocking contrast to Jane's unusual serious and clean style. What are you doing here? Well, right back at you. Why are you at my workplace? You don't work late? You said you always work overtime on Thursdays and Fridays. You've lied to me and have been working part-time at this place? How long have you been working at this place for? I've been working for about 2 years now. 2 years? 2 years! That's exactly when you started refusing to have sex with me at night. Aha! I see what's going on. I found out later that Jane had a kind of addiction. I would have asked her to have sex with me, but this is a different story. Jane had a twisted habit of not being able to feel happiness or pleasure without the spice of immorality or adultery. When she was dating me, she didn't live with me and could cheat on me as much as she wanted, but after we got married, she couldn't go out with men as much. So she came up with the idea of taking customers at a bathhouse. She thought she could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. She could get tips from the customers and satisfy her own desires. You didn't love me then. No, that's not it. I love you with all my heart, because you were the only person in my entire life that I really truly wanted to be married to. I see. Even if your body's not satisfied, you are still connected to me in your heart. Yes, that's right. If you want, I'll even quit this job, but please don't say you'll get a divorce. Please. Can you live with that? Even if you quit this job, won't you just have an affair? Oh, no, that's... I knew it. You're a woman who can't live without having an affair. Then, that's enough. You don't have to quit this job. Well then, don't worry. I have no intention of divorcing you at the moment. In exchange, can I come pick you up once in a while? Are you coming back? Here? If you don't like it, I can file for alimony for the divorce, and I'll tell the company about your second job. If that happens, your life will be in shambles. Is that what you want? Okay, I'll accept your terms. In the end, I didn't get any service from Jane that day, or, more accurately, for the rest of all my visits. From that day on, I decided that I would pay for 3 hours a day, twice a week, that Jane worked there, and I would not accept any service from Jane. In other words, I had to kill her alive. The cheapest course was $250 for 90 minutes, twice a day, so that's $500. 2 days a week, so that's $1,000 per week. That was a painful expense for me, since my salary was $4,000 a month. However, I managed to pay for it with money I collected from Jane's part-time job, money I earned from a side job I started after that, and savings I had made for our future child. I lived like that for a year. Sex addiction is a scary thing, and it seems that if the desire remains unfulfilled for a long time, it can quickly alter one's mental health. Jane started having insomnia and other obvious physical ailments only a month after I started paying for all her services at her side job. 3 months later, she developed an eating disorder, and 6 months later, she was diagnosed with severe depression at a psychosomatic clinic. All of these problems could have been solved by working part-time at that shop more often, but she has a real job as an office worker, so she couldn't do that. I also took away her cell phone, so she can no longer scout for guys. In the end, a year after I started going to the store, Jane quit her side job. The reason was a loss of libido, one of the symptoms of depression. At the same time, it also meant that Jane's addiction had been approved in the past year. I'm sorry, and thank you. Thank you for what? I know that everything you've ever done for me has been to help me recover from my addiction. What makes you think that? Because if you hadn't interfered with my part-time job, I'd still be engaged in some crazy act with some guy. You wouldn't let me have my phone because you wanted me to stay away from other guys, right? No, I just wanted to irritate you. But you spent your savings to go to the store, and you wouldn't lay a finger on me until I got over my addiction. That was because you were trying to help me get rid of my addiction by making me learn patience, wasn't it? No, I just didn't want to touch you because your presence was so disgusting. Ugh, you're so disgusting. I spent my savings to go to your store to see you break down. In the end, you just got depressed. Huh? Boring. What? Wait a minute, what are you saying? I don't have the money to go to the store anymore anyway, and you quit, so there's no point in going there, so I'm done. I'm divorcing you. What the hell is that? I can finally live a normal life, you know? Our happily ever after has only just begun, hasn't it? Just started? In my mind, it was over a year ago, but I've enjoyed the past year. It's been fun watching you slowly break down. No. If you're going to fight me in court, do what you want, but I also have proof that you were working in the sex industry. I don't think you have a chance. After that, Jane and I divorced. Jane accepted my request for divorce surprisingly easily. Jane was able to break free from her addiction, but instead, she suffered a serious emotional trauma and now commutes to and from the hospital like a cripple. I also heard that she can no longer work at her day job as an office worker and is on welfare. It seems that Jane has no desire to live, no attachment to life at all. What I want most at this moment is to hear the news of Jane's death as soon as possible. Then my revenge will finally be complete, and that wish will probably be granted in the not too distant future. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We look forward to seeing you again. Please subscribe to our channel.